Hello, hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. It's time for our weekly training. Let me make sure that this is connecting. I think we're good. Perfect. So if you are here with me live, say hey, let me know you're here. Give me a little wave. If you are watching the replay, comment with hashtag replay so I know that you were able to catch the replay. And today we are talking about the difference between truly acting and feeling like a CEO or feeling like an imposter. All right. Now, the reason that I wanted to talk about this is because literally every single day, multiple times a day, I see people calling themselves a CEO on social media, in their email signature. They call themselves a CEO. They say, I am a CEO of X business, whatever it is. And then we start to have a conversation, and the truth comes out. They tell me that they feel like an imposter. They tell me that they don't feel like an actual CEO. They tell me they have no idea how to run this company that they're building, right? They're calling themselves a CEO in their Instagram bio or their email signature, the About Me page of their website. But behind the scenes, they're stressed, they're anxious, and they have no idea, like I said, how to actually run this company that they're building. And the words ease and flow, you may have heard people talk about these, like talking about once you really start to embody that role of CEO and everything feels really good to you, things come easily and everything just flows, right? But these words don't even exist in their vocabulary, right? Because they're just always thinking about business. They're not able to turn off and they feel like they have to hustle in order to reach their goals. They have a really hard time trusting their team to do work if they have a team, or they just have a hard time trusting people in general. And it's just like, quote unquote, easier for them to do it instead of trying to hand it off to somebody else, right? And they have built their business model off of something that somebody else told them to do, like strategies that other people shared with them, but it doesn't feel good to them, right? It feels completely out of alignment. Something just feels off, right? And they know that if they stepped away from their business for like a few days or a few weeks, literally everything would fall apart, right? Their business cannot run without them. And they don't trust the decisions they're making either. They're constantly questioning themselves, whether it's creating a new offer for their business or whether it's hiring a new team member or whether it's just creating content for a social media post. They're always second guessing, right? They are not trusting the decisions that they're making. So when you're in this place of uncertainty and every day waking up feeling anxious and like an imposter, you're not embodying that CEO role in your business, okay? Because what are CEOs? Like, let's think about this for a second, right? Because they're action takers, right? They make decisions quickly. They know how to forgive themselves. They know how to forgive their team if they make mistakes and they move on. They're totally fine with failing, right? They show up as their authentic self. They're not hiding behind the screen or like trying or making excuses for why they can't show up and do the work and or feeling like they have to put on a show when they do show up, right? They feel like they're wearing a mask because they just don't feel like themselves. They're just saying things that they think people want to hear instead of the things that they're actually thinking, right? And they don't feel the need to be working 24/7 in their business, right? Because they know that their business is set up to run without them, right? They know that they can step away even if they are a done for you service provider. They know that things are set up so that they can have work happening behind the scenes without them. And they're thinking about long-term goals for their life and their business because they have a larger mission with this company that they're growing, right? It's not just thinking about the day-to-day anymore. It's not just thinking about how much money can I make this month? It's thinking about the bigger reason for why they started this business in the first place, right? And they have multiple revenue streams coming in, so they're not relying on just one source of revenue. And they have plans for business challenges. This is a big one and one that a lot of us realized we didn't have when the pandemic came, right? They have plans for when business challenges happen. They have money saved up. So if they don't sign clients for a couple of months, not a huge deal. But remember, they have multiple revenue streams, so they're always having cash injections coming in, right? But even if they don't, if a team member leaves, if a pandemic happens, they have a plan for these challenges when they come up, right? So do you see the difference here? You see the difference? When you're embodying the CEO role, you're not just calling yourself a CEO. You're stepping fully into that version of yourself who knows it's possible for you to have whatever you want, to run a company that you feel good about, to like wake up feeling excited to work in every single day, to have clients that you love to work with, right? To be somebody who knows that they're worthy and deserving of having anything they want, right? To feel confident stepping away from business because your team can take the reins. It's totally fine. And again, waking up every day feeling excited, right? Because you have a bigger mission for yourself, for your company, right? You're working towards this every single day. You're making not only your life better, but your clients' lives better. And eventually, who knows, maybe other people's lives better along with it, right? And you're not afraid to make mistakes, right? You know that failing every single day is required. If you don't fail, you don't learn, right? So CEOs know this. They embody this fully. You can tell somebody who has fully stepped into the CEO role from somebody who hasn't. You'll notice people who call themselves CEOs saying a lot of things, but not actually embodying that in their real life, okay? Or they're showing up one way on social media, but if you meet them in person, they're completely different, right? Or if you start to have a conversation with them, the truth will eventually come out of what's actually happening behind the scenes that they're afraid to share with you. Okay? CEOs also feel really comfortable with taking time off because guess what? You did not build this business to be working 24/7. No entrepreneur wants to work more than they could work in their day-to-day job or a 9 to 5 job, right? That's why you built a business. You're building a company so that you can have more freedom. CEOs understand this. They don't feel the need to be working all the time. They want to work as little as possible, right? They want to be focused on that bigger mission, the bigger things that take their brain power, right? Not necessarily them doing the day-to-day work. So this is what we're talking about, okay? We are talking about the difference between feeling like a CEO versus feeling like an imposter. And I would say the vast majority of people either watching this right now live or watching the replay, you're feeling like an imposter. You're not feeling like that true CEO because honestly, if you did, you probably wouldn't be watching this right now because you would know that you were a true CEO. You wouldn't even consider for half of a second that you felt like an imposter, all right? So this is one of the big things we're doing in the Real CEO Mastermind. We are helping you fully embody the CEO role in your company so that you can do all of these things that we already talked about, right? Feel confident, wake up excited to work in your business every single day, manage a team that you love, and work towards this bigger mission that you have for yourself, your family, all of it, right? But we need to be strategic with how you're running your company. The way that you're doing things right now, it's not going to cut it. The mindset that you have in your brain right now, those thoughts aren't going to cut it either because I know people say this all the time, but what gets you here will not get you there. All right. So if you want to learn more about the Real CEO Mastermind, you can click the link. I think it's above, and or go to realceomastermind.com. You can learn more about this brand new mastermind that we have happening. We are starting on October 3rd. So we are accepting applications in the meantime. And of course, if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out, slide into my DMs, Facebook, Instagram. Happy to have a conversation with you. So that is, all that I have for today. Stayed under 10 minutes, so that's always good. So I hope this was helpful. I hope that you are feeling at least a little bit more like a CEO. If you're not, if you're ready to embrace that CEO role, come apply for the mastermind. I'll help get you through that. So see you later. Have a great week.